Welcome to the Binge Dietitian podcast. I'm Jonathan, and I'm here to help you end 24/7 food thoughts, binge eating, and actually enjoy life with food. This episode is for educational and informational purposes only, not to be substituted for medical or personalized advice. Check the link in the description for my recovery resources, and let's get straight to the episode. In this episode, we'll talk about the mindset shifts that will be needed for binge eating recovery. Because it's completely one thing for me to tell you what to do or how to eat in order to reduce your binge eating urges. But if you don't have the mindset or what to expect during binge eating recovery, you might be caught off guard and fall into binge eating episodes once again. First, I just want to announce that my hunger regulation webinar series, which are for free, is now live. You can access my free hunger regulation webinar series by going to the link in the description of this podcast. Because when we struggle with binge eating for so long, we lose touch of what true hunger or true fullness is. So check out the webinar series. It's comprised of roughly 40 minutes, split over 3 videos, and it's information-packed. So once again, if you're keen to check out this free resource, this is in the link in the description of my podcast. So let's get back to the podcast topic. So let's get straight to the first episode for the new series called Mindset Shifts for Binge Eating Recovery. Expecting discomfort during healing. You might have been checking everywhere on social media, whether it's from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and many more, of people showing how amazing their life is now that they can experience food freedom. No more 24/7 thoughts about food. No more anxiety when you're eating out with friends or having others cook for you. No more obsession with your weight and how you look. But that's the light at the other end of the tunnel. And I'm going to be honest with you, because I didn't expect discomfort during my own binge eating recovery journey, and I thought it would be simple or a walk in the park now that I committed to not dieting as hard and to escape binge eating. I had my eyes set on it to experience food freedom. But in reality, it actually caught me off guard to how challenging it was because I wasn't prepared mentally. Binge eating recovery will honestly challenge your beliefs about dieting, about food, about what calories are, what carbs are, so many things. It's going to really challenge you. Actually, I could say that they're not even your own beliefs because diet culture and social media trained us to hyperfixate on foods, hyperfixate on calories, and to obsess about our bodies. And hopefully I'm not scaring you away from binge eating recovery, but with anything, this will change your life for the better. And I'll be honest with you and say that this isn't going to be easy, but it's going to be so worth it. And you'll find that this is going to be a trend during the Mindset Shift series. You're going to be challenging your goals of chasing a quote-unquote thin body and chasing true happiness. You're going to be challenging your mind, thinking that being thin isn't true happiness that you've been searching for all this time. Especially when diet culture tells you that being thin is the key to confidence and happiness. But at what cost? Being obsessed and anxious around food? If you're struggling to let go of the idea of losing weight, you might want to listen to my other podcast episode, number 3, called What to Do When You Can't Let Go of Losing Weight. So it's okay to feel anxious about binge eating recovery, and it's okay. And you even deserve to feel grief over chasing that goal of being thin. I want you to know that your feelings of sadness, that these goals of being thin are being put aside, and that these feelings are valid. A necessary step to accepting the right mindset of binge eating recovery is to truly close that chapter of dieting and control and move on to the next stage in your life by respecting and trusting your body. You've controlled your hunger and cravings for so long that you've actually stopped controlling what really matters in life. Happiness, memories, true love. Binge eating recovery is about slowly letting go of you controlling your hunger and cravings and taking the leap to let your body take charge. And I'll be honest, and at the moment you might be really nervous at the moment hearing all of this. It will feel like a leap. It'll feel like a leap of faith. Initially, you might start to eat more, when you start to let your body take control. But I want you to hold on, because this is your body making up for the deprivation. Most people panic during this stage of what we call refeeding, thinking that they won't be able to stop, so they jump back into dieting again. But you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and trust that your body, after appreciating you trusting it, it will eventually balance and regulate its hunger hormones once it appreciates that there's no risk of starvation anymore. Once you train your body that food is all around you, your stomach doesn't have eyes. You have to show what's coming in regularly and to turn down these alarm bells of the urges of binge eating. And I will be honest with you and say that it might take days, it might even take weeks for your body to find its baseline, to feel comfortable and to re-regulate its hunger hormones. And I appreciate that it's going to be very scary. It's very scary to just hear about it. And I want to say that the fear you're thinking right now is very valid. I was there. I was there feeling very anxious, and I'm not going to say it was a walk in the park. During binge eating recovery, I had these thoughts of thinking, should I go back? Have I gone too far in? What if I never re-regulate my hunger hormones and then I'm not able to just go back? But with every single person who started binge eating recovery, true binge eating recovery, including me, your body will find the baseline. Your body is smart and you should trust your body. If you want me to back it up with research, dieting and trying to heavily control your body weight with intense, regimented dieting has been shown to lead to weight gain in the long term. But eating regular meals that are filling and being consistent and listening to your cravings has been shown to actually lead to body weight maintenance. Some cases, even minor unintentional weight loss and better body composition. You might have heard of these shows called The Biggest Loser, where people are a high body weight and they're shown to exercise like crazy amounts, shown to be on extreme restrictive diets. And the main point of the show is the person who lost the most weight actually wins. They get a monetary prize. But there actually have been lots of studies on specifically the show called The Biggest Loser that after follow-up, after several months or several years, that 80% of the people who actually lost weight actually gain the weight back or even gain even more weight. So if you're interested in those studies, I will link those studies in the description of this podcast. So in summary, if you want to start a journey of binge eating recovery, one of the best things you can do is to expect there will be discomfort. And I understand if you feel sad or if you want to grieve for your goals, your past goals of chasing thinness. It's important for you to process your emotions and to understand that you're right where you need to be, and happiness is a choice. If we dismiss our need to grieve and just ignore what we truly feel inside and fake a smile, then we're just invalidating our feelings. We're not really processing our emotional need to grieve, to close this chapter and move on to the next one. So we're moving on to happiness. We're moving on to self-love now. This is a different chapter in your life. Binge eating recovery is a self-love journey. It's a self-compassion journey. This binge eating recovery journey is all about healing from the trauma. It's all about healing from these negative thoughts we have about our bodies, about food. It's about learning to feel and cope with all emotions. So I hope you found this mindset shift episode helpful. And it might sound like you're alone in this journey, but I want you to know that you're never alone. I'm here to hold your hand. And if you check the link in the description of this podcast, I've recently started, at the time of this podcast, a Binge Eating Recovery Facebook private group. If you want to join and talk about how you feel during your binge eating recovery, share some wins, maybe share some difficult times, and just to bring each other up. It's a great way to share your experiences, and it's going to be really difficult to recover from binge eating on your own. And it's great to just recover as a community, to feel validated. You can also check in the link at the description of this podcast for my resources to help you recover from binge eating. Resources include one-to-one coaching, my binge eating freedom course, my free webinar, as I mentioned in the start of this podcast episode. So many more, so feel free to message me or check out my resources. I would really appreciate it if you rated this podcast well, and I'll see you in the next episode. See you next time, friend. What if I told you you can end binge eating and still keep all the foods you love without dieting, without willpower, and no more meal plans? Check the link in the description for my exclusive self-paced binge freedom blueprint online course to learn everything I wish I knew when I struggle with binge eating. It's all packaged into one platform to make it easy to transform your life right now.